great outdoors in Pennsylvania and beyond. Brought to you by the Mariana Outdoorsmen Association and by Wild Acres Farm, Fishery, and Regulated Hunting Grounds. Now, the great outdoors with Jason White.
Hello, friends. I'm Jason White, here today with my co-host, James the Whip Shetler. Good morning, Whip. Happy to have you.
Thank you, Jason. I'm always excited to be a part of the show with the great outdoors. It gives me an opportunity outside of our Dog Tag Club program with my co-host Rob to engage in some of the things that you're doing, as well as what we're trying to pursue with getting people to be made aware of with our veterans and first responders.
Well, let's dive right into it. We got numerous topics today that we want to go over, and events. We're going to go over some events. We're going to go over some projects that you actually got to see that we were working on firsthand yesterday. I was really thankful that you came out and I was able to show you all the stuff we're working on. And but before I do, I want to give a special thanks to the Mariana Outdoorsmen Association. If you're interested in joining, you can join today, get the rest of 2023 for free, and you get all of 2024 under a membership. You can do that at MarianaOutdoors.com. Again, MarianaOutdoors.com. Also, special thanks to Wild Acres Farm, Fishery, and Regulated Hunting Grounds. If you want to book an upland bird hunt, check us out at 10mileco.org. Again, that's 10mileco.org, or you can call 724-579-0924 to book an upland bird hunt, deer hunt, or turkey hunt today. And last but not least, special thanks to Washington County Tourism and Promotion Agency for their support of this radio show and podcast. And as always, you can follow us on Anchor, Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, our website, MarianaOutdoors.com, and also our YouTube channel. So we got a lot of ways that people can watch us, listen to us, follow what we're doing. But I'm going to dive right into our upcoming events, and then we'll move on. So Monday, September 18th at 3 o'clock, we're going to be doing an upland bird stalking. Saturday, September 30th, we're going to have an open house and a tour. That'll be at 10 a.m. In conjunction with that, the same day, we are going to be having a car, truck, and bike cruise held at Wild Acres Farm, Fishery, and Regulated Hunting Grounds. And for those that are unaware, one of the things we're really pushing and promoting for this event is the Veterans Crisis Line, 988 pound 1. For anybody that is unaware of that, we'll have signs and information about that at the event. We'll circle back in a sec, Whip. We'll dive into this event. We have an upland bird stalking Monday, the 2nd of October. First trout stalking of the year will be Friday, October 6th. Really excited, Whip. You got to see some of the habitat, so that's something really looking forward to. Saturday, October 14th, we're having a fundraiser for the Mariana Outdoorsmen Association's Habitat Improvement Fund. We're going to be talking a little bit about that, about what we've been doing with Habitat. I know I've been talking about past shows, but now that I got the Whipster here to, kind of convey what he saw, really will expand what we're doing. Also, the Continental Pheasant Hunt is Saturday, October 14th, and that is at 9 a.m. at Wild Acres. Saturday, November 18th, we got two things going on. Really excited about this. This is another event that Whip is spearheading. There's a Veterans and First Responders Upland Bird Hunt. This is our third or fourth year we've been doing it. I
believe it's fourth.
Fourth year. And it's our annual MOA members picnic, both of which will be at the Wild Acres Farm. And the last event that we have scheduled for the year is Trout Stocking number 3 for the fall, and that'll be December 11th. Which is a Monday. That'll be after deer season commences. So let's circle back, Whip. Let's dive into this car, truck, and bike cruise.
Let me take over right here, if you don't mind, Jason. I'm going to go back to the 988. Guys, let me say this. This 988 was introduced about a year ago, and the regular 1-800 number is still implemented. You can use. It's to make it easier for people to understand if there is a change in personality of a friend or a spouse or anybody, that they can call that, and it's a national number that where you would contact and be connected to a licensed counselor. Hopefully that number will be as familiar to you as 9/11. It serves for both our veterans as well as our non-veteran nationwide. It's only been implemented a year, so it's very important to recognize that 988 number. That's all I want to say about that. Is the more we become educated and aware of that.
So let's dive into the car show, Whip. People are asking, calling us, they're wanting to know information, and I know you're going to have information about this 988 at the event. So if anybody has questions, you'll be able to answer that directly.
Okay. What we've done is the car, truck, and bike cruise, which is going, like Jason mentioned, is going to be September 30th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Okay. And that's going to be benefiting not only the Pennsylvania vet pets, but also our dog tag program. We are going to be giving out goodie bags to the first 50 car, truck, or bike persons that come in. As well as, I thought we had something very unique made, is our dash plaques that shows the car as well as a 5.5-month-old pup that's in training. And there will be dogs there, service dogs that are in training at the event, so that you get firsthand information from one of the directors, Omar Brooks, that is spearheading that. In addition, we have some of the vendors that are going to be there, and this is all, again, the vendors as well as the whole activity of the day is all absolutely free. We have a DJ for the music that, it's accustomed to where the oldies music is attached to the classic cars. We want to give a shout out to Jason Edenfield for taking over that spot. We also are going to have 19 North is going to be there at a very minimal price for the food and beverage that will be available. We have Christine Cookies is coming. We have the Carmichael bikers riders. They'll be coming. We have the insurance people that are going to be there to engage in any updated benefits that would be beneficial to our veterans and first responders, or even to the John Q. public. So, again, it's turning out to be a great opportunity to engage not only for the car show, but like Jason mentioned, we're talking about the activities of what the MOA, which is, affectionately known as, which is the Mariana Outdoor Association, with the, I call it recreational outdoor therapy. It's not just the fact of the hunting, the fishing, or the trails that are being offered. It's the connection. It's staying connected. It's building a community. And, having conversation with some of the people that were engaged in research and development, the positive impact that it has on a individual that may be suffering from PTSD or depression or any other form of anxiety, whatever the case may be. The positive impact that has been found, that it not only builds up your physical exercise, it improves your mental exercise, it also your behavior, personality changes into the better positive aspect of it. Your social skills are improved. It increases your work productivity, and it just even the appreciation of the nature environment, which I'll get into conversation with, like Jason mentioned, about the improvement of Daniel's Run. And it allows our veterans, our first responders, and all those that are there engaged to bond and develop a strong sense of community. So the camaraderie, the community, the commitment, those are all a sidebar, which is very strongly needed for identifying, that bond. And as folks may know or may not know, that when the military transitions into civilian life, sometimes they go astray. Sometimes that they don't know, what to do to, engage when they've been told, wake up in the morning, when to go to bed, when time to eat, and everything as such. So they're kind of, in a predicament, as we say. But again, this what we're offering at the Mariana Outdoors Association is not the whole answer, but it's the right step to be taking to engage in a community.
So the event's free for the
Absolutely
for the cruise, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Is there anything else that people need to know, or?
Well, I'm going to be giving out. Well, we're going to be giving out goodie bags to the car, truck, and the bikers. Okay. I'm also going to be asking, for people that if they want to get involved with us, whether it be a volunteer or they want to become a member nationally. And I had asked them to, put the word out of, that's probably one of the better places of marketing. Get it is, once people see the development, like for instance that Daniel Run. Now, folks, let me say this. I've always been engaged back from day one when Dad took me out to the woods and to appreciate nature. What Jason and his group done, they have a stream called Daniel's Run, and it's fed by a spring, which means it's cold, which I've had people down there like in the heat of the day of August, and they were just amazed when they cast their eyes into the stream and seen a school of fish. Okay, so that's one advantage that we have in southwestern Pennsylvania. So to increase that activity, what he has done with the permits coming from the different agencies, which I imagine that has been a nightmare just in itself.
Yeah, it's been quite a lengthy and drawn out process,
but you did it.
But yeah, it's done. We have all the permits that we ever needed and that we will need because we're not finished, as you saw.
Yes, but let me continue the story. As I had walked along the stream, these man-made, I'm gonna call them dams, okay? But they had
dams. They're called
rock formation.
Rock cross veins is what they're actually
okay.
called.
Well, thank you for correcting me. But I did again. There was a little bit.
So just so the general public knows, they call them general permit number ones, and we're allowed to go from the existing soil bed up 3 feet. That's the limit. We've never even gotten to that point. When I say the 3 feet, that would basically be like the low point at the center of the structure. Now, once you would surpass that, then they probably would classify it as such. But yeah, dam in the state's purview is almost like a dirty word.
Okay. Well, sorry for cursing. but anyway, this is on my side of the fence, where I'll take blame for describing it. In the center of this formation that had been built by Jason and his group, it allows a stream of water to flow through. And what's the reason for that? Well, it was explained to me there's three positive themes. Number one, it produces more oxygen for the flow of the water. Number two, it creates a deeper hole. And then number three, with the formation of the rocks, it gives a fish an opportunity to hide from the predators. And believe me, folks, we have predators that, to me, I think it's imbalanced, which when I was a little younger and hunting, if you took a box of shells out, you were only going to expect to hunt half a day. Mm-hmm. Now you could take that box of shells and walk with it all day long, which means that the reduction of seeing the grouse, seeing the pheasant, seeing the rabbit, and any other game, it became very scarce, which is a crisis.
I think
it's a terrible thing.
The imbalance, we've talked about it on past shows.
We have.
Is a huge problem. I think it's getting more awareness now within the agencies and even the permit divisions of what, because for example, I'm going through this right now. I'm trying to get a federal permit to be able to harvest some hawks. Hawks are no longer an endangered species. They're not even relatively close. There's been no management as far as in regards to conservation in a probably I'm gonna guess 30 or 40 years at least in that capacity. So you have an apex predator basically that doesn't have anything on the food chain above it, basically that kills, to your point, rabbits, chickens, cats, household cats, small game, all types of small game, including pheasants, quail, chucker. So basically anything that is small basically is in their target. And back to my point, it's just we have an imbalance, and even right now I'm just dealing with permits in that capacity, trying to get that rectified and resolved, which is a total and utter nightmare. And hopefully when I am all said and done, not only can we put nature a little bit back into check, but also I'm hoping that we can help sway some change in a positive regard with these permits, because they are totally out of sight, out of mind. Politically, I would say a lot of people don't really acknowledge the negative implications of poor permitting processes. But I can tell you, I've been dealing with trying to get a permit for over 9 months, and extremely convoluted, extremely difficult. Too many hoops to jump through, too many agencies that have to be involved. It's just a lot of extra work. But back to the point of the stream. You got to see a lot of the work that we've done in the past 3 years. I want to say we've purchased approximately 30 tractor trailer loads of boulders, which you got to see those. We have a tremendous relationship with United Rentals company. They value what we do. They value habitat improvement, conservation, because they understand, when they get home from work, their families need things to do, to your point. Same thing for the veterans. So they value seeing young people, utilizing and enjoying the outdoors. But I've seen, since we've started and with what you saw is completed so far, you got to see all the trout in the water today. We haven't stocked there since May. A lot of fingerling fish. There was actually bass in the stream that must have come up, from upstream. We've seen wood ducks, beaver, muskrat. Just the amount of positive implications of what we've been doing with wildlife has been tremendous. And, really looking forward to the future, because we have another phase scheduled for next year whip that I took you and showed you. We are still short on materials. It's a lot of material.
It is. It is.
I actually had somebody, I was sitting on the bench the other day at the stream after you had left. I went up in the woods, came back, and then I sat down. And the guy that comes and cuts the grass, he stopped down and he was like, man, you guys got that done fast. I was like, yeah, I worked 2 days from daylight until dark. I was on the machines, trying to get the stones in place where they went to build the structures. I said, we never stopped. But it's the old saying, Rome wasn't built in a day. If we did it all in one go, it would have been a humongous investment. But we're taking, bites out of the elephant every year, and I'd say we got a couple more years to get where we want to be.
Well, I just want to add that, Jason, I've said this before about you. You're a visionary, and there's some people that's why I'm encouraging you guys, if you have time, any given time, that you want to take and have a tour, that once you see and the picturesque scene of where we're located and all the activity that's engaged with what we're promoting, you may want to get involved. Okay, even just to come out and sit around and watch the actual work being done is okay with us. And also the importance of in conversation that I've engaged in. Down to the stream, or even up there, on the outside of the lodge, the conversations that are coming back and the testimonies that are being evaluated in personal or even just in an audience way is better than monetary payment. I had about a year or so ago, I had a wife that gave me a hug and thanked us for bringing her husband back to normalcy. I've engaged in conversation down at the stream in private, and this is worthwhile what the MO, and I give you guys a shout out as well as I'll be a part of that ego trip too, where the bond, the trust is starting to be developed, and that's very important, guys. Boots on the ground is why I call it, and I believe that the MOA is that particular boots on the ground. Yeah, there's other agencies out there that are probably just as proficient, but they're engaged in another part of the missions. Our theme is coming directly from the research development. I think it's coming from the good Lord that we are directing our path in helping others. There's expense, like Jason just mentioned. To have a program is one thing. To maintain it is another thing. And to stabilize it and to get people to know it and to get engaged with it is a continuing journey. So, and I'm proud to be a part of that whole programming. And I'm proud to see the development. Jason will gloss over, we're getting pheasant in and everything like that. But it takes time. It takes effort to build that pen to where these pheasants and quail and chukars are in. It takes time to make contact with the amount of trout that's coming in and the budget to allow that to happen, not just once, but each and every month from October to like April, May. Am I correct, Jason?
Yeah, we
let me continue to tell the story. You just turn the pages. I'll tell the story. Now we'll go talk about the trout. I mentioned to them a long time ago, and I'm glad that they took my advice. I said, if you're going to put fingerlings in, you're no different from anybody else. You've got to put some monster trout in there, and they have had engaged with, I'm telling you guys, like Jason mentioned, our first stocking of this year is going to be October 6th at 3 p.m. Each and every month on the first Friday at 3 p.m.,
typically, it's the first Friday. The only time we don't do that is December, because we wait till the Monday after deer season's over.
Okay. But, folks, I'm telling you, you've got to see that firsthand. I mean, they're healthy, they're beautiful, and we've spent over, now, you correct me if I'm wrong. I don't care to be wrong, but I believe we spent over $50,000 just in stalking the trout. That's just one program that we're sustaining to have enjoyment for the youth, to the members, you can even do a day pass. Am I correct, Jason?
Yes. Outdoor fishing passes are $60. You have to have a Pennsylvania fishing license. We tell everybody that. Although the fishery is private, it is open to the public, so you don't have to be a member. You can come and do a day pass. So we allow everybody, even the camping. Campsites are $20 a night, open to the public. So we're I guess you could call it a semi-private. It is definitely 1,000% open to the public.
I'm gonna be a little ornery here.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna call it chumming. That way that you get a taste of this, and then you'll want to be engaged to get a full membership. And like Jason mentioned, from now until next year, December 31st, okay? Hear me out now. This is what, September? Till next year or December 31st, that membership will be valid, okay? And you can come out 24/7. There's no time frame of, being limited. And that if if you want to volunteer, or if you want to get involved, in that aspect, a sidebar of what we've done in that area, and I got to give you guys credit for it. We through the summer months we've had what we called earn while you learn. We've hired like up to 4. I'm going to call teenagers or whatever, because there's an age requirement on that.
Yeah.
And their skills are developed through the teachings and the direction of some of the members of our MOA. And that covers whether it would be, agriculture programs more than just digging a hole and putting the seed in the ground. It would cover, the direction that Jason had mentioned about, the structure and the construction of, some activity that we've done. So there's a multitude of things that we've taken pride in, had them, the youth, come out and work. On the other side of the fence, we've engaged in some of the kids that have went off the curb, as I call it. They're on probation. We've engaged to have them to be taught life skills. We've had them out several times, not only for just spreading the mulch, not only to show them the difference between a Phillips screwdriver and a straight, the difference between a fork to a knife, if you want to expand on that. But these children, they need guidance. They need leadership. They need role models. And we've engaged to, again, we're going to engage in having them to be a part of the bird release. Am I right, Jason?
Yeah, we got a lot going on with them. That's we've highlighted that in past shows, and certainly we'll be.
But it needs to be
again.
told. It's one of the things that where's our youth going today? No, we stepped up and we injected our thoughts of making them a model citizen, as well as to appreciate.
Life skills are critical. Life skills are extremely important. Idle hands are never a good thing in any capacity with any person. So, people getting engaged and learning these different things in regards to the outdoors, whether that, to your point, whether that is fishing or hunting, or whether that's agriculture, whether that's gardening, or just learning basic things around home with carpentry. We're really diverse in the capacity of just trying to get, whether that's a veteran, whether that's a first responder, whether that's our youth, whether that's somebody that's went down a bad path, just trying to engage people to learn and experience different things. So hopefully the seed will be planted in your mind that you want to do this in your free time. And then if you're doing it in your free time, you're less likely to do something that you shouldn't be doing. So that's ultimately the summary of it, is to just give people as many seeds planted in their mind of opportunities for them.
That and hope.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I want to highlight on the fact about the habitat, back to that. At Daniel's Run, we have a lot more that we want to do. We're going to be pursuing campsite. We have, I guess we'll call them very basic rudimentary sites, but we're exploring the expansion of like electric and different utilities in the area. So that's something we're looking to do. You and I have talked, Whip, about little like houses and cottages.
Pavilions, and as well as the activity of nature calls to be satisfied.
So we're looking
but right now, folks, at the stage of when we started to clear that property out, you would say, "Wow, what a obstacle! What a I don't know if we'll ever get this done." From that start to where it's at now, I'll go ahead and call it and describe it as primitive, but it has, each one of those areas has a place to where you can not only set up your RV or your tent, whatever. As a matter of fact, I'll go back a few years ago before COVID. We had veterans that came out of Virginia, and we invited them up to the lodge and that, and they insisted, no, we like it and we want to stay here for and when they came, it was a little bit on the cold side, and they engaged with the fire pit there, and they did their own thing, and they enjoyed it, and they came back. There's been several visits from the state of North Carolina with women veterans. Okay.
Well, we've come a long way in regards to Daniel's Run. you know, and I know.
Well, that's one article. That's one stream side of it. But I'm just saying.
We have a lot of things that we want to do. We did a lot of prep even this year for next year, kind of just setting, we built that one access ramp. I didn't get to show it to you, but we built an access ramp just for next year so we can spot stone down for another structure. I also took you down to our 10-mile section. We expanded our walkway. Might not seem like a huge thing to anybody, but we actually have a really long walking trail on the property. Eventually, we want to make it a giant network. Whip and I were talking about this the other day about exploring the idea of a major trail network just with what we have there at Wild Acres. But it was really important for us to expand that, not only for people to walk, but we've been talking about people that come in the summer and want to ride horses, fisherman access. We now have, I don't know, I would say it was probably at least 300 to 400 yards that we expanded.
Big time, if not more.
We did a lot of tree trimming, so we can get mulch and different things upstream just for our walkway. But as little as that might sound to everybody, it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work, but it's to Whip's point about having a vision for the future, having a plan, understanding what are our goals, not only this year, but what are our goals for the future. This roadway is also important for us because once we do finish at Daniels Run, we have ambitions to do habitat improvement on 10 Mile. Different things like boulder placement, etc. But Daniels Run's going to probably challenge us, I'm going to guess, for another year or two before we're in a place to be doing habitat stuff on 10 Mile. But Daniels Run presents its own challenges. And I actually had this conversation with, I wanted to, share this kind of story. There's other habitats that have been implemented by the state and counties, which is fine. But the one thing I'm anti and against is when they went into a lot of these places, they bring in these huge excavators. Now, I want everybody to hear me out. One of the most critical things when it comes to trout is water temperature. And trout hate when it's direct sunlight hitting the stream. It's not good. It's a bad thing. Anybody that does any research on streams and aquatic science will know and understand this. Direct sunlight can drastically jump the temperature of the water. Well, some of these other places where they've put in these structures, they've basically, because these machines are so big, they've had to go in and basically knock down all the trees. Well, yeah, you're putting a structure in the stream, and that's great, and that's a benefit. That's a pro. But you've basically canceled it out by bulldozing all the trees along the stream. Well, what we've done, and as you saw, Whip, we've been very cautious and conscientious about that.
Yes.
We've used a pretty decent size, I'd call it a mid-size excavator, but it's been very gingerly along the stream as to do a minimal impact to the trees, etc., so we don't take away the shade from the stream.
Well, that adds to the stream, but it also adds to the fishermen and those who want to sit by the stream in a shaded area.
Absolutely.
But
it's that is something that most people might not notice. You go to these other places, and it's like, boom, it's all wide open. That's bad. That is really, really bad. I cannot stress this enough to anybody. They call it your riparian buffer zone. There's like a 15-foot gap to where from the edge of the stream back 15 foot to where you want to utilize that space as much as possible for habitat. And when I say that, you don't want the sun coming and directly hitting the stream. It's really, really bad. I can't not stress that enough to anybody. If you ever do go and do a habitat project on a stream, you want shade, you want to create oxygen, you want holes that create depth, because now the combination of the shade and the depth of the hole, basically the trout become camouflaged. So to your point earlier about predators that are going to try to get them. So it's been difficult for us because we have been avoiding the trees. We've been trying to put these structures in and be as gingerly as possible. But it's not easy. Yeah. It's not easy. It's a challenge. It's hard. I've even had to explain to people, like, I built one of these rock cross veins, and I got to put boulders in the stream. I basically got to ramp out on top of them and sit on them so I can reach the other side, because to my point, if I got a really, really big machine and I tried to make the spin, I'd be hitting trees. I'd be having to cut trees down, which would, again, be counterintuitive. So it's very, you got to look ahead. You got to understand the implications of, you go and cut a couple trees down. What's the impact on the waterway? Most people might say, "Oh, well, that's not a big deal." It is. Honestly, it is. When you get these really hot days, to Whip's point earlier, these trout do not want to be. It's a cold water fish. They do not want to be out in places where there's direct sunlight. They want that canopy over top of the stream. So it's very, very important as we progress forward and as we do things with habitat that we're looking at that. You want shade. Shade is critical for a stream. So, as we progress, back to my point earlier, Rome wasn't built in a day. Things take time. We're getting there. I'm really excited for next year Whip, because we're going to keep developing the habitat. And if anybody would like to come see it, this car, truck, and bike cruise that we're going to be having, which is going to be highlighting our dog tag program, please come check it out. We're going to be giving tours that day. Would love to take you.
It's going to be a fun day. And the most important too, I want to stress this: we're not conceited. So if you think that you have something of value as a suggestion or something that could add to our programs, feel free to have a conversation with whether it be Jason, me, or any one of our board members. It's one thing, again, to talk about a program. It's another thing to maintain it and implement it and keep it going. So, we've taken on the responsibility, like you mentioned, not only from the improvement of the habitat to, the stalking of birds, the trout stalking, the dealing with the children that are on probation, dealing with the youth of, teaching them the skills of life skills, as Jason had mentioned, and trying to maintain all these programs in a balanced way. It takes effort. And the effort comes from guys like you out there that once you've heard and hear about what we're doing, and, having that opportunity to engage is an open door welcome policy.
Well, our door's certainly open. Happy to have everybody. Whether you just want to come for a day or get engaged in what we're doing, or, hey, if you're an organization out there and you're to the point of even about habitat. If you're interested, if you're a fishing club and you're interested about implementing habitat structures, reach out. I am more than happy to talk to you. I'm more than happy to share with you what we've done. Obviously our experiences.
And I'll tell you what I'm happy to do. I'm happy to invite you guys out if you wanted to do some form of a fundraiser. We have a now renovated barn that you can utilize. We also are engaged in, looking for, members that want to have the same vision, have the same drive. We've in the past have had some events that were staged there. We can work together in that to make it a win-win. So that opportunity to explore and to have, conversation as well there on the table as well. I also wanted to include that in the past we've had children with disabilities there. We thank the Rolling Thunder Chapter 5 for their support in the development of our ramp. We've had, disabled veterans in wheelchair. I had the pleasure even to push one up towards the stream. He caught a 26-inch, 6-pound trout, and I've engaged in conversation several times, so that'll burn in my memory forever. When he had landed that trout, I didn't know whether to grab his fishing pole, the wheelchair, or he himself, because I didn't know he wasn't letting go of anything. And it was a remarkable. I wish I could just cast that, what I seen with my eyes, and cast that onto a movie screen to show the excitement that young man had. But these are all, the benefits of what the Mariana Outdoors Association is offering through the dog tag program.
Well, we're certainly excited for the fall, the winter, the spring, because we have a great, we're basically open now. We'll be fully open when the trout, come back. But, we have this car, truck, and bike cruise September 30th. Please, if you want to come out, it's 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Whip will be the main man kind of spearheading that event.
That's what I wanted to do, Jason, is I wanted to, if there's any questions about, whether you wanted to be a vendor, whether you have product or you want to have information, okay? I want to stress, we will set up a table for you. It's free of charge, number one. We just want you to engage, to have a great opportunity to just have a great time and interact with us. Number two, you can either go to our website, which is MarianaOutdoors.com, okay, and express your interest that way, or you can take and call me 724-557-2432, or you can call Denny 724-323-4397. I'm going to give you that number one more time. And I'm going to even go slower so you can write down, because sometimes when I even had spark of interest, it's a one-time deal of telling me a phone number. Denny, 724-323-4397. Whip, 724-557-2432. We're happy to engage in conversation. We're happy to set up a table for you. All you got to do on your end is say, yeah, I want to be a part of that. If you don't want to be a vendor, just come on out, bring your classic car if you have one. Listen to some good music provided by Jason. As well as even if you wanted to come out to participate, we're going to have, again, the food and the beverages is going to be provided by North 19. Am I saying that?
19 North.
19 North.
Out of Washington, PA.
Pardon me?
19 North out of Washington, PA.
Yes. Good guy.
Fantastic people.
Yeah,
Mark Ennison's the owner. Great person.
Yeah, good people is right. So aside from that, we'll have, sidebar vendors there, like I had expressed, all good, community-minded, want to come together. So why don't you become one of those persons also? So
we're going to, I want to reiterate the fact that special thanks to the sponsors, Mariana Outdoorsman Association, Wild Acres Farm, and also Washington County Promotion and Tourism and Promotion Agency. Last but not least, got a lot of awesome stuff coming up this fall, Whip, from trout stockings to bird stockings, deer hunts, turkey hunts. There's so much going on. The events with the veterans, with what you're doing. And if anybody would like to participate in any capacity, Whip gave you those phone numbers, but also you can go to MarianaOutdoors.com. Again, MarianaOutdoors.com. We have a YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook, the website. You can also listen to us, obviously, here on WMBS Radio, but afterwards we upload as a podcast to Anchor and Spotify. Lots of ways to engage us, to hear what we're talking about, to hear about events, to hear about projects, to hear about the veterans' causes, first responders. But last but not least, we're running a special right now. From now to the end of the year, you can buy a membership. You get the rest of this year for free, and you get your 2024 membership. So you're getting the rest of this year and then all of next year at the price for just a single year. So if you join now and you want to go trout fishing, you get October, November, December free of charge, and then you get all of next year. It's a deal you can't really pass up. You're not going to go anywhere else for that price. MarianaOutdoors.com. Again, MarianaOutdoors.com. Hey, Whip, thanks for coming on today.
Thanks for the invite.
The car cruise is going to be awesome. Check us out. Stay tuned. We'll see you next week, everyone. Thank you.
And you've been listening to The Great Outdoors Show.